streamers hate each other. We talked about this at length with him before. I don't think streamers hate each other. I do think they have some very interesting discussions behind closed doors, though.
Streamers definitely do not like each other because there is I'm not gonna lie, bro. These streamers definitely do not like each other because there is a constant circulation of clips on the timeline that feature discourse and division. But what if I told you this was inevitable? Now, in the past, I made a video called Why There Are No Friends in Streaming, and to make a long story short, is because they aren't friends. They are merely collabs. I think it really got bad when Kai Cenat ascended to the top of the totem pole, but that's for later. I'm gonna quit yammering.
Really?
You already know I'm the hood Socrates, and let's actually start. Now, like I said, I think this all started when Kai Cenat reached the pinnacle of streaming. My guess is that there is a sense of envy or jealousy because when Kai got to his heights, streaming continued to grow and is now comparable to the music industry. And if you know, the music industry is not only shady, but you make hella money. And when money is involved, that's when niggas start getting a little cray. Let me show you some examples.
I know Kai about to do his subathon.
I saw this clip.
That's time for streamers to go on vacation. Yeah, man. That's why the Love Show is from the 23rd to the 30th. I already knew when it was coming, nigga. I already knew. I did my research, nigga. I made mega calls before I planned what day I was gonna do it. Nigga, I been knew. Nigga, I'm like, nigga, on this day, no high production, nigga. I'm cool, bro. I ain't trying to lose no money. No. You feel me? So
now, obviously, Kai is cool with DDG, and I think Ben too. So one could view both of these clips as just jokes and trolling, but clearly there is some truth mixed in. Like I said, Kai is at the top of streaming. So when he's streaming, people are watching. And while they may be joking, I think what they're saying is just a manifestation of their deeper feelings, which is this nigga is taking my viewers and thus taking my money. Now,
I think DH is reaching here a little bit. Yes, at the end of the day, it's jokes. To me, both of them are trolling right there, but they're also dead serious at the same time. Not saying, oh man, I'm hurting inside. My pocket's really finna be hurting when Kai streams, but it's gonna be harder. Like if there's more people in the competition pool, you don't want to go out there and just start throwing haymakers. Because if somebody else is throwing haymakers and the other person is Kai Cenat, right? He's eating regardless. It doesn't matter. He's getting the job done. So I can't really like, I think we're reading into it a little bit too much. If you're Kai Cenat and you announce your Mafia-thon, you know, obviously it's going all the time. He's arguably one of the biggest and best streamers in the world. You know, he's always, you know, top 5, regardless of language, on Twitch at least. So he's going to matter. He's going to pull in most of the views because he already does. Now you give him the excuse of, oh, I'm doing it all day. Obviously, he's going to take people's bread. But we're not sitting here like, oh my gosh, no, Kai, never do a Mafia-thon again. Now, are we going to complain if he does? If he doesn't? Of course not, because that just means there's more views to go around. But there's a lot of people that watch Kai stream specifically for Kai, or specifically his style of content. Kai doesn't make content for everybody that even watches everybody in AMP, right? He doesn't make content for everybody across all these different niche areas. But for his audience of people, he is like that megastar. So it's fair and reasonable to say, okay, you know, if you're experiencing the Kai Cenat conundrum, you're going to lose bread if you have the same crossover audience. But I don't think it's a thing where, oh, everybody's like feeling some sort of way. Everybody's scared. Everybody's concerned. I don't think that's what that is.
Making any hard accusations here of hidden animosity, but I think it's animosity for thought, my nigga. So chew up. Also, I don't think this is the first time a streamer has made a joke regarding streaming at the same time as Kai. So what I'm trying to say is that I think there may be an element of envy due to Kai's position, especially it's not even envy, it's just funny. The recent Kai Cenat hate campaign that was going on. I was happily a part of it. I think that campaign was the embodiment of what you could probably call the Kai Cenat fatigue, and being that these streamers see each other as collabs or food used to grow, is it really out of the equation to say that behind the scenes, niggas are tired of Kai and ready for a new top streamer? But anyways, I said all that because the conversation of competition and being number one keeps popping up for some reason. And I can't understand why these streamers don't like competition. And like I said in the last video on the subject, I just think that's because these niggas not friends in the first place. Because if you're competing with your friend and you're secure in yourself, there's no way that should be causing that much division.
Consider PBM a top 5 English streamer on planet Earth. And if that's the case, I just asked you a question, Maxwell. Then you know you're my boy. Do you think you're part of the problem? Just a question. I'm not saying you are. I'm asking you. Like, ask yourself, are you part of the problem? Because we know your dreams. You want to be the #1 streamer. You want to do all that. Does that competitive get in the way? Thinking that every stream, you know what I'm saying? Do you think you're part of the problem? I just want to know what your thoughts are on that. You want that? Nigga, I'm asking him a question. This is some shit I asked him in real life. And he would answer truthfully because Max is pretty honest. I'm not gonna lie. So with the knowing that you want to be the #1 streamer and knowing certain streams have to be a certain way, you got to be averaging a certain amount, and each stream got to kind of be a banger in your head or memorable. Do you feel like that gets in the way of the old classic form of streaming that you feel like you miss?
Fair.
Do you think you're part of the equation?
My thoughts on the Rage clip is that honestly, you have to just come to terms with the fact that two things can be true at once. I think you can be unified as streamers while being competitive. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. My question is, how does someone's personal goal of wanting to be #1 affect streamer relations? That is purely a personal goal. And if you feel threatened by that, you're either not secure or you don't like that person. I'll give you prime example, Mr. Beast. He's a guy who is very...
I gotta disagree with that take, DH. While they are not, they can be two separate things. But when you say you want to be #1, right? There's what Rage was pointing out basically, and I'm gonna bring y'all in close. What Rage was talking about in that clip was basically the fact that that everybody's saying, oh, streaming is divided and all that. He was just calling to attention the fact that Black Boy Max is one of the biggest streamers in the space, right? His name rings bells. And even if you say, okay, he's not quite Kai's in that tier because Kai's on a whole nother gear than every other streamer, right? Cool, whatever. He still matters. He's still significant. And he was bringing to the forefront the fact that Black Boy Max thinks that one day he can be #1 and feels like one day he has to be #1. So I think it's more so Rage pointing out the fact that there's some things that Kai has to be willing to do or has done in the past that most people that usually like a particular style of streaming, right, or prefer to do streams a certain type of way or interact with a certain group of people, now they have to go more corporate with it, right? They have to be more correct with the way they move. There's very little room for error. There's a specific way everything has to be done. And if you don't do it that way, you're pushing yourself steps back, right? And there's going to be somebody else that potentially could end up taking that place of you. I think that's more so what he was leaning towards and less of a, oh man, I don't want you to be #1, gang. Because Rage has never been a hater for real. Rage came up being a plug channel, right? And then even eventually he was reacting to stuff and he had no face cam and he kept scamming us in there saying he was going to give us face cam, Then when we hit that big 1 milli, he finally did, right? So I feel as though Rage has no animosity towards really 97% of streamers in the space. Rage's thing, even in the grand scheme of like being in FaZe, yeah, he had some streams where he was with FaZe, but for the most part, he stayed in Florida. Because Rage does like Rage things. Rage be all in the cut. He does his own thing. Sometimes he'll pop out. You'll see him do stuff with Silky or everybody else, and they'll have their moments. They'll usually be virtual doing stuff, playing video games or whatever together. Not so much IRL content because that's not really big into his brand. Though he does do it, and he's like with the whole caretaker stuff and all those skits, he's been like in it a lot more. But Rage has been eating regardless of who's big. One person, Kai streaming at the same time as Rage is not going to steal Rage's bread. I saw him with Yana, and he was averaging like 33K. So to me, I'm like, if you're teetering between 16, 17, and 30 to 33K viewers, and your Rage, no matter what time of day you stream, no matter who's on your stream, you're eating. And he's never once sat there and made it seem like, oh, it's a crazy thing about money. Because while some days he does max his ads out, I'm not gonna lie, there's other days where I rarely catch an ad, and sometimes I sub to him, sometimes I'm not. So that's also part of the problem, I guess. But for the most part, he doesn't seem like one of those people that's gonna be a hater of somebody that he's allegedly friends with. I think he genuinely rocks with Plaque Boy Max. I think he's genuinely friends with Plaque Boy Max. Cameras off, stream aside, IRL, in real life. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's a subtle dig. I don't think he's trying to make it seem like it's something that it's not. I think the simple fact of the matter is he's trying to point out to Plaque Boy Max, in order for you to be number one, in order for you to stand as the man amongst boys, to be the Gojo of the streamer space, you have to be willing to do things that you may not have previously agreed with doing, or you may not have been willing to do in the past, or people may not have ever believed you would be willing to do it. In that event, are you still going to take that step and do it anyways? It's a valid point to have. And if that's what he goes for, then that's what he goes for. But if not, well, you know what? The decision that he made.
Very vocal about his love for being the best in YouTube, but that doesn't divide the community. Didn't he turn YouTube into a sloptimization gimmick? I mean, yeah, but what does that have to do with his relations with other YouTubers? Fair enough. But that's why I can't fully resonate with what Rage is saying here. We see that same strive to be number one on YouTube. Striving to be number one does not inherently affect relationships.
It does.
Unless you're not secure or you don't like these people. Max ended up responding, and here's what he had to say.
We was all in the basement, and you was just talking about some shit like, what did you say? You said some shit like, damn, Max, I thought you was finna be the one, you fell off. Nigga, you talking like a viewer, like a chat nigga, like, you feel me? Facts.
To be fair, he is in your
Rage
chat
is my boy,
24/7.
but since he's saying this on stream, I'ma just also say it on stream. This is my brother, like, I fuck with Rage. But like, it's facts though. So just like you saying that, yeah, we all part of the problem. We all competitive. It's cool though. I think competition is good for this shit. I think competition is good for this shit. But I'm just saying we should all be unified as streamers. Niggas could be able to hop on Discord. Niggas can do shit together. Now it's like sections and factions. Niggas gonna be mad at me speaking facts, but it's true, bro. Imagine, yo, bro, you on stream to all your viewers, niggas just farming saying you fell off.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, this nigga should have never left the J. And I'm not even trolling. I used to watch Max when I was younger. And y'all know I don't mess with Max for real. Not anymore. Cause he just be around them weirdos and I can't rock with it personally. But it's funny to hear because it seems like he's peeping it in real time for himself. Just how fake that energy is. And I mean, he even called out Rage for being disingenuous because
maybe this is because I'm one of those YRG OGs that I feel differently on this one. I don't think him saying that in his chat was like something crazy. I don't think him saying that like the dang you fell off. I think that it actually affected Plaque Boy Max. I think Plaque Boy Max actually felt some sort of way about Rage saying that and popping in his chat. But Rage is notorious for popping in everybody's chat that he knows. His whole persona is trolling people. He's pushing 30 now. He's like, I think his birthday just passed, so he's 28. I think 20. I don't think he's 29 yet. I think he just turned 28. But his entire since the beginning when he started streaming, his whole thing was trolling and jokes and being a clown, so to speak. Not in a disrespectful way, but like trying to be the court jester, so to speak. So to me, if I mattered, right? One day I will. But let's say one day I made it. I'm averaging 20K, right? And then for like a week and a half, I'm down to 10, 11K. My streams get cut in half. And I got a bro that acts the same way Rage does, or Rage himself sits there possibly. He's like, dang, Cole, dang, Cole, your views cut. Like on some just the same vibe. Just, dang, Cole, your views almost half, bro. What happened? You fell off. In my comment section, I'm not taking it as an insult. I'm not taking it as he's beefing with me. I'm not taking it like we got a problem now. Because I know that's how Rage is, right? Now, if it was a streamer I don't know personally, or somebody I don't know in real life, or somebody whose content I don't watch, I could definitely see that happening. But this whole DH, me and you, like we're locked in for life. I love your videos. I love breaking these down. I love agreeing with you. But sometimes we disagree, and this is just one of those times where we got to disagree. I think Black Boy Max is being a little bit too emotional about this right now, or in this clip. I don't think Rage actually had an issue with Black Boy Max at any point in time. I think him hopping in his comment section and saying, "Oh, snap, you fell off a little bit. You was just the one." I don't think he was trying to be genuinely. I don't think he was genuinely trying to insult him. Rage is just a troll. He's always been that way. That's his entire persona. That's his personality. So the fact that Max is sitting here like kind of jumping at it like, dang, bro, like you flip-flopping, to me, I'm like, no, that's just how his entire online personality has always been. That's just me though. Respectfully.
He's cracking jokes about falling off, but let's be real. Niggas be cracking jokes, but these jokes be having truth in them, so you don't know how he really felt. But I also feel like this response really just continues to validate what I've been saying. Max himself said it. You can be competitive and still be unified. But the reason niggas aren't unified is because they're not really friends. He just said his own homeboy sounded like a chat nigga. He said Rage was sounding like a dude from the chat.
Is always
Low-key, on the
chat,
topic of peeping things for what they are, here's something I found interesting.
Talk
Now, we
to me.
know Rage was one of the people that commented on Max's departure from FaZe.
And when niggas go, you feel me? This is real. Okay, this is not troll. This is real. Still got love, all the love in the world for my dog. But he's on to different paths and like, you feel me? Like, this is real. It's not a troll. I swear on my life. And I hate that when we're at the point when niggas actually got to say some serious shit, the first thing everybody thinks everybody's trolling because we troll way too damn much. You feel me? But this ain't no troll. I have all the love in the world for my boy Max. Forever. You feel me? When FaZe was talking, I was like, yo, Rage, what we doing? Rebrand needs to happen. Who we picking up? Black Boy Max, the first motherfucker that came to mind. No ifs, ands, or buts. You feel me?
I remember those days.
But Max, he doing his own, you feel me? I'm not gonna say why. That's up to him to do. I'm not gonna do that for him. You know what I'm saying? I just wanna let y'all know it's not.
And he even hopped into a Discord call with him to seemingly talk about everything that transpired. But what's getting me is that Rage was supporting him, but then tried to attribute the Great Division to his departure. I don't know, man. Me personally, I'm not doing my homie like that. Cause it sounded like niggas need the box. Cause that was disrespectful. I'm trolling. But for real though, I just feel like he was just showing love. And while departing FaZe doesn't mean that a person instantly just wants to be #1 streamer, I feel like it's part of Max's own self-growth and his own development. So for Rage to even insinuate that, hey, you might be part of the problem because you're striving to be the best you and striving to be the best in your field, to me it just comes across like, I don't know, I wouldn't do it, but that's just me. But clearly the clip pages were starting to notice the obvious display of distance between all of these streamers, and they started nostalgia baiting, and that's just the boys slow down. But another thing that makes me feel like this current era of streaming division started with Kai's ascension to the top was the fact that his secret boyfriend was on stream reminiscing about the days he was on top.
But the one thing I do want to call out is when I was #1 on Twitch, and it wasn't about numbers and it wasn't about competition, guys. It was about having fun. It was about involving people. It was about bringing people together and doing shit together, right? I wish you could go back to that, but streaming is just not how it was, okay? Streaming is not how it was. It's competition now. It's numbers. It's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. It is what it is. It is what it is. You're a Jew? Sure. It is what it is.
That's crazy.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Grunk is tripping. This nigga Aiden is literally tripping. What are you talking about? This is the equivalent to a nigga at the YMCA, bro, who you're hooping with telling you if he didn't injure his knee, he would have made it to the league. Bro, what are you talking about? Genuinely. When Aiden was at #1, all he was doing was spamming zesty jokes. It was zesty jokes, e-dates, and rapper collabs, bro. This nigga talking about being together. And then on top of that, bro, you're flexing kick contracts and kick deals. And it just feels so tone deaf because he's definitely part of the problem. Like, his community is one of the most like vicious on the platform. And he has no qualms about his community. He doesn't care to fix it. So just to hear him talk about how when he was at the top and reminiscing on it, like he was much better. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it real. And like I said, some of it really do just feel like yap to me, because Aiden is part of the problem, and especially them NBA kick deals. It's really the money and the fact that a lot of these people aren't much different from your average person. It's just that they have large sums of bread. I'm saying that it just almost feels like streaming has turned into this shitty high school sitcom. Some of these streamers are just awkward people who want to make money and are willing to do morally compromising things at times for it. And that just sounds like high school to me. I don't know.
Well,
you till I fucking die. All right, we doing it or what? What's the word?
Praise on God, I'm not doing another event with a Twitch streamer that's gonna pay 50-50 from now on God. So that's the end of that.
Yeah, what happened with that? Well, what happened with that, bro?
I mean, it's obvious, no? I paid
how much he had to pay? How much he had to pay? And how much you had to pay?
40K, and I paid like 240K, I think. 240.
And did y'all agree on that before?
I agreed to pay majority, but we didn't know that they were gonna go out to like yachts and clubs and shit. So we had to. But he doesn't want to pay anything extra. So here's what it is.
You paid $250,000 for that event.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I
swear to God.
Crazy. That is crazy.
That's nuts, gang. That's nuts.
It's fine. It's fine, but I'm just not doing it anymore.
Wasn't it just like a 3-day thing?
This was basically the weight loss competition they had going on. I'm not gonna talk about it because I really don't care, but I'm showing y'all so y'all don't think I'm just trolling. This is basically the one friend who ordered hella food and then asked to split the bill evenly. So that's really just what a lot of this stuff boils down to. Just immature adults who touched a lot of money. Maybe some of them are stuck in high school, but it's time to just let it go, guys. Life moves on. Y'all wanna know what's kind of silly? And it's from the guy I least expected to say this about, but Ronaldo was actually cooking. He was saying the same stuff as me.
I'm the smallest one here. I don't think my take on this is, I actually have a take. Let's start. Oh, should I start stirring myself into this a little bit? I don't actually think streamers have egos. I think streamers just don't like each other. Simple as that. And it's not based off egos. It's just based off they just don't like each other. And people fake friendships. And put question marks all you want. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't think people like each other. I don't really know why. I think there's plenty of money for everyone. There's plenty of viewership for everyone. And there's plenty of content for everyone. I don't really know why this is even like a thing. Like, I just don't know why people are scared to say they don't like people.
And I will say this is probably my favorite clip I've seen recently. And for everything I criticize this nigga for, I will say this was such a good take. The state of streaming is that nobody likes each other, nobody wants to be friends, and nobody is truly secure. My theory is that these people just be lacking substance in their life. The money, the followers, the materials, and the internet validation isn't enough to fill whatever some of these influencers are seeking to fill. So my advice is to find what resonates with your soul. Find what makes you feel good and never lose hold of it. It seems like some of these guys did, and they're grasping at anything they can. That's just how I feel. Subscribe for more unsolicited opinions. Join my membership. Join my Discord. I do want that shit to be active. Y'all be easy. Bye.
Yeah. Even in the end, we still largely agree on everything. DH, not gonna lie. I think was that Glazing Rage? Was that what it was? Maybe that's what it was. I'ma keep doing it. I'm doing tricks on it. I'm playing so hard. But nah, that's just how I felt. You feel me? But nah, streamers just don't really be friends in real life. And usually as guys, right, we make jokes and we talk about how girls are the real divas all the time and they have fake friendships and stuff. And guys be having fake friendships too. You know what I'm saying? Guys be having fake friendships too. And the thing is, we just kind of keep it. When we're around the person, we're ha ha he he, and then away from them, the people that know we don't like that person, know we don't like that person. Me personally, do I do that? No, but I'll do this. Come in close. If you my homeboy and I, right? Not we, I have beef with Jay, right? JJ. All right. I got beef with JJ. You don't got beef with JJ though. I'm not gonna hate on you or have beef with you because you don't excommunicate JJ as well, right? Let's say JJ, let's say something crazy. Let's say JJ crushed my girlfriend, bro. But she my ex. She my ex, but like, she was my first love type shit. Let's say JJ crushed her, right? Now I'm hurting inside. You feel me? I'm really sad type. Like genuine, like that hurt me. To you, you don't think it's that serious. So you don't feel the need to excommunicate JJ. You're like, oh, that's beef between them. But like me and JJ can still kick it and me and you can still kick it. I just don't kick it with JJ like that no more, right? Me at best, I'm just gonna go ahead and me and you can still be cool and respectful, but depending on how bad, like I said, JD did something that really hurt me. I'm not gonna tell you as another grown man or grown woman, don't be friends with that guy. Because if you want to be friends with him, that tells me who you are and what you're willing to accept in your circles. So there's a limit to how much I can rock with you, right? There's a limit to how often we can be out in public, what we can do, the places we can go, and the situations I'm willing to get myself into because of foolishness that you may cause, right? There's a certain amount of money I'm willing to spend with a person in your, in my circles that happens to act like you do, right? Because I don't like bro, and you're willing to still entertain his shenanigans, knowing how he's willing to move. So it's only a matter of time that he snakes you out and does something you don't like as well. Because he knew how I felt and he still did it, right? Purely up to, honestly, that was a pretty good example, I feel. But with streamers, it's kind of like sometimes you do something just because that person is popping, or just because that person matters, or just because the opportunity is there, right? You may not necessarily love the person's content. You may have never seen that person's content before. All you know is they matter. And now you're doing a collab because somebody said, oh, that'd be great for you. Or you saw that person's numbers. You said, dang, they do numbers. We can do numbers together. And even in person, like once you're around that person for the first time, you're like, I don't really feel the vibe. Like we're not really meshing really well, but we'll make it, but F it. For the bread, we gonna make it work. There's a lot of streamers out there like that. I don't think it's necessarily an ego thing. I'm with DH and I'm with Naldo on this one. I think sometimes you get around people and the money talks right and you say, okay, bet. But the rest of the time it's like, I really don't rock with bro. I did it for the bread. And that's as far as it goes. There's nothing deeper to it. There's no, difficulties of shenanigans else to be added on there.